We have 3 16-year-olds, triplets, yes, teenagers and triplets.
Oh, Lord.
Pray for us as we try to stay sane. And we have a 10-year-old. We are just marriage advocates. We have been through some rough times, some hard times, I wish he'd wake up, Lord, times. I can't kill him, or I'm going to go to jail, so Lord, just don't let him wake up, then it'll just be normal. God saw fit to just make us work it out. You know, that's not an easy task, right? But God had a plan for us. I think had we known that this was our path, we probably would have went another round. But I tell you, God is really good. We briefly want to introduce, this is Pastor Gurley and Phyllis Gurley. They were our mentors going through when we were ready to kill each other. We were at their house like, I can't do him, and he couldn't do me. So it was mutual. Don't get it wasn't one-sided. It was mutual. But they have been very helpful, and it's a surprise to have them here to support us. Right. Usually, well, they're here we have another event that we have, but just to have them here to come and support us is great. Beside is my sister who has never been to one of our events, but they just surprised me to come and support. Wow. My family is very close-knit, but just to have them show up is trying to start crying. You know, I did start crying like Centoria is in our group. We have a marriage group that we do. We help to support, to encourage, to uplift. They come to our house, we go to their house, we go on events, we go on outings, we go on cruises. We do stuff together because marriage retreats, Christmas gala. Yeah, no, you've got to. You're so helpful. But we do all those things just to stay encouraged. Your surroundings, the people you hang with, plays a big part in how you turn out. Because if you got negative people in your ear, your life will be negative. That's just how it is. So get somebody that's going to tell you the truth, but encourage you, pray for you, love you, get your life together. All right. So you want to get started? Oh, Centoria, you mind passing? I took these supposed to pass them. See, I trained them well. Here they go. So today we're going to be talking about a little bit of back to basics. We have a few things that we do, but sometimes in marriage we just forget the basics. We get into routine. Forgot why we got married, why we love that person, why we're together, what does God say about it. We're just going back to basics. We just started over. Is that okay? Okay. Now we like interactive. I know y'all typically done some questions at the end. We like interactive. We like to talk. Just like a group session. I have to feel at home and I feel like we talking. When we do our group, we sit at a big old, we sit in a circle. So I need to talk back to me, okay? Okay. All right. So Mr. Thomas, you want to start us off?
Yeah, we're just going to briefly go around and ask some of you. Well, everyone doesn't have the paper yet, but once you get the paper, you'll see the first question on there is what are some of the reasons you married your spouse?
But you can just talk to us now.
Yeah, anybody could just.
What's the reason you married your spouse?
We have things in common.
Things in common.
Okay, things in common. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Long history. Okay, so like high school sweethearts, that kind of thing.
My wife said she was 4.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That's great.
Okay.
All right. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, y'all saved in here.
I was say y'all real saved. Ain't nobody saying about because I was cute. They were fine.
Right.
I was say y'all real saved. I mean, they muscle, they jeans, none of that stuff. None of that.
Okay.
That smile, okay.
Long hair, don't care. Okay.
Long hair and a smile.
Yes, sir.
We met her grandmother and we'll see how she's going to look when she's 70.
Okay.
We met her grandmother.
That's good.
That's a new one. That's a new one.
Lord Jesus.
Wow.
Somebody get your hand back there. What you say? Okay. So y'all told me all the real estate answers. Anybody like the way somebody was fine? Okay. But ain't nobody say cause he was fine, she was fine, he looked good. You know, I think he got it together. I think he'll make a great husband. I can see us having some pretty babies. Nobody did that but me. Oh, okay. I mean, listen, I know we in church, but I want real. Okay, because we can't talk on the, I know that's, you know, God sent them to me. It was a halo. You were fine.
All right, let me change my answer.
Okay. Help me. I was like, y'all was making me help. I was like, this is real saving here right now.
Well, now you saw it out right there. She done got thick, man.
Thank you. Okay. That's what I'm saying. But see, that's real. That's real though.
Right.
Most of the time, people have some physical aspect that they like about their spouse. Yes, please.
For me, it really was the fact that, like, I saw him walk by, and I was there with a guy friend, and my intention was away.
When he walked through, I seen that.
Wow. All right. So the reason we ask that is because when most people get acquainted with their spouse or they first meet their spouse, most of us weren't saved. And the reason that we decided to marry a spouse were because they offered some type of service or some physical attribute that we loved or liked.
Don't laugh. It's not necessarily, not that kind of service.
Well, it could have been. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just saying.
Okay, so we are very real with our stuff.
Right.
So my family that gave me this warning, like, listen, don't embarrass us in here. So he said service, they go somewhere else. But no, we were talking about
Like cooking, cleaning,
he said cooking, things,
that
everything
kind
like
of
that.
thing. Right.
Go
So
ahead.
anyway,
That's you, right? I
right.
know.
Okay. So basically, what we have on there is the definition of selfless and servant.
You know about the service they go away.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, let me hush.
Yeah, we have the definition on there because once you marry someone because of a service or their physical attributes, if that service stops being rendered or if that physical attribute goes away, then what do you have?
If they can't cook,
Right.
if you like them for their hair and their hair falls out because they have some kind of illness,
Right.
if they got fat, because most of us, somebody, some way go from somewhere to somewhere to somewhere and somewhere else,
Right.
then what?
So that's why we put the definition of selfless and servant, because those are the things that you need to work on and become to further your relationship beyond the servanthood or the physical attribute that you first fell in love with each other. So then we go down to men.
Can we park on selfless for a second? I know you're trying to, we might not get through this whole thing. I mean, I know that, but just, I think it's important when we talk about marriage being selfless. You know, people always say, I deserve this and I deserve that, but what are you giving?
Right.
What are you giving to your spouse? Because I find that, you know, women, I'm gonna speak from women, he can talk for the men. But we always like, you know, when we can't get him to do the things we want him to do, we can't get him to help us in this area. Some women, if you got children, he don't help the children, he just come home from work and he goes sit down, you want him to help cook, you want to, why don't you put a load of clothes in, why don't you put it out the dryer, da-da-da-da-da. But when you start to serve, and you and do it as unto the Lord, the same thing you do for God, you know, you don't always feel like doing what God tell you to do. You don't always feel like coming to church, you don't always feel like acting the same when somebody getting on your nerves. But when you realize that this is about my relationship with God, and it's not about me, it's about God, so you be selfless. When you learn to serve your spouse, there's nothing they won't do for you. Men respond to respect. If I respect you and I feel like they feel like you have their back, ladies, there's nothing they won't do for you. I'm telling you, I done fussed till the cows came home, he ain't moved. But then I start to show him support and love and, you know, baby, things I can help you do, things of that nature. Then he like, baby, I washed those clothes. I'm thinking like, okay, did what? Oh, I went to the car and I did something. It'll throw you off for a minute, and then I had to watch my mouth and have to respond like, what's wrong with you? Instead of saying, thank you, baby, yes. You know what? But if you go home and remember the things that, you know, if you take time to stop for a minute and listen to the things that your wife has said to you, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? We fuss. We do. We working on it. Ain't that right, ladies? We're working on our mouth, our quick response, working on nagging, because, listen, what I'm saying, if you start to say, baby, is that can I help you with? You know, baby, you need me to do this, baby, you need me to do that. Now, at first, they'll throw her off, but then she'll see the change in you, and she'll say, well, shoot, I got to step my game up. I'm telling you, the time that I had to step my game up is when he's doing so much for me, I'm like, ooh, I'm slacking. And it is what it is. So I'm telling you, she's not here, and I don't think it's being recorded, but I'm telling you, put your servanthood on and watch things shift in your house. I promise you, I ain't telling you what I heard. I was fussing for a long time, come from a long line of fussers. And then he had to cut me off, so he didn't know what I was saying. I sounded he didn't know what I said. But then I started to pray and said, God, tell me what to do. It was simple stuff, Lord, what to do, what to say, just different little stuff. I even went to work, and he one night was working late, painting a building. His workers didn't show up. I went up there and I'm painting. I don't want to paint, but I'm painting and cleaning. But then that's when things started to shift, because he realized I was Team Thomas. I was for the family. It ain't what I wanted to do, but it was about sacrifice that I was willing to make, and realize you're not by yourself. You're invested in working for us, so I'm going to work for you until we get this thing together. So we all have to do stuff we don't want to do, and not with a bad attitude.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, she was talking about being selfless, being a servant. It's always more important to put the other person's needs in front of yours. And also that we forget a lot is to give that person the benefit of the doubt, because they did marry you, they do love you. So it's human nature to automatically go to the worst case scenario. So when they do something like, oh, my ex-boyfriend used to do that, he did this.
Why you trying to throw me under the bus?
Not you. But anyway, so
Don't share you. You see it?
give them the benefit of the doubt. If you have a question about something, ask them. Don't assume things.
Baby, when you did this, what does it mean?
What did that mean? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Okay. That's where you get understanding and communication. We do a lot of assumptions, a lot of worst case scenario, but always give your spouse the benefit of the doubt. So another little saying that we like to refer to, which is mostly geared toward the men, is, are you a thermostat or a thermometer?
All right, man, so let me hear your answer. What do you think? What do you think you are? Depends on what it is. That's real. I like that.
For sure.
Man,
What's the significance of a thermostat?
I can't hear you.
Control the temperature, and the thermostat does what? It just tells you what the temperature. So the difference is,
Thermometer tells you.
right, the thermometer. You want to be a thermostat so you can control your wife's temperature, which means help control her emotions so that she doesn't get too high, too low. And then when you do that, a lot of problems that you have from your wife, you won't, because you keep her even keeled.
I need an upgrade. You know they got it.
The Wi-Fi, touchscreen. Hey, sometimes you gotta do that.
Long as you come out, wait, long as you come out, upgrade the thermometer, not your wife. Now, wait a minute.
Right.
Be specific.
Okay, yes, sir, we got a question.
So I have a question that
Sure.
sounds great. I mean, those definitions.
Yes.
And it seems like you're embarking upon an important principle. Can you tell us more about how we do that?
Well,
How do we control or influence the temperature in our homes?
Well, like the gentleman said, the thermostat does tell the temperature. So that means you have to be in tune with your wife. You have to know your wife and know the signs, because a lot of times you ask your wife, well, baby, what's wrong? Nothing. Nothing good. Well, there's something wrong with you because you're looking stupid in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. He's learned not to say that anymore.
So, you know, when you first get married, you're like, all right, so you go watch it. But you can't do that, fellas. We have to take time to be like, well, babe, you know, go ahead and tell me what's going on. You can confide in me.
I'll be all right. Really?
It's gonna be okay, we can talk.
Don't do it like that. If he's a man, because I know you playing with me. Why you playing by emotions?
I love you so hard, it's okay. But yeah, so you have to be in tune with your wife, and then you have to, you know, I like to say is because I'm not a very touchy-feely, emotional kind of person, but I have to put forth an effort to deal with my wife in tenderness
Thank you, Lord.
and love. So that helps in bringing her up or down depending on what the situation is.
Men and women, your response can shift the atmosphere one way. Well, it will shift the atmosphere
Right.
one way or another.
Correct.
When I say something to him, he's like, "What's wrong with you now?" That's something that he can still
Well,
work.
something always wrong
He
with
yet
you.
work. Something always wrong with you. He yet working on that one.
Right.
But at that point, I'm defensive
Right.
because that means that, like, I feel like you just got a whole bunch of problems. And I don't want to hear nothing else. Like, tell me what I don't really want to hear.
My husband's not here right now, but this morning I woke up in a bad mood. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and he said a few things that annoyed me before I left the house. But I just thought it was so sweet that after I left the house, he posted this beautiful picture of me and put this comment: "He's not a Facebooker," and I was just like, "This is him trying to, trying to fill me out." I was like, "This is good."
See, now he was trying to set that temperature right.
And so
He know you was too high. He was trying to get you in the middle.
And see, that's a good thing because a lot of men, like I said, when you first get married, you know, we're immature and selfish. That's just the way that we are. And you're like, I'm not gonna say nothing, she gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you already ahead of the game, you know, with that situation. So
I think a lot of us react more so than respond.